Hello and welcome to my channel, and thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe if you like this content to help the channel grow. You can find out more about astrology readings with me if you visit www.rubyglasspool.co.uk. I create astrology content to help connect the conscious with the unconscious. Thanks very much for watching. Hello and welcome to my video on Mercury. So the idea of this video is that I take a slightly deeper dive on the meaning of Mercury in the natal chart and in the skies in general, which is very relevant at the moment because Mercury has just gone into retrograde again in the sign of Sagittarius. So this video will look at Mercury from a slightly deeper, slightly different perspective than the more common interpretations that we hear of this planet. So first of all, this planet acts as a divine mediator. So it's the planet in at least myth and legend and thinking about the gods and the archetypes that is the divine messenger. So Mercury can flit between heaven and earth and transmit messages backwards and forwards. And in the same way, Mercury acts as a channel between our ego or personality self and our higher selves or our soul. So in the same way, as above, so below, in us, it mirrors the same principle in that it creates a link between these two parts of ourselves and helps to send messages back and forth in us in order for us to grow and evolve. Basically, it's a learning planet, and it's how we come to learn and understand more about ourselves, to come to know thyself, if you like. And Mercury is all about self-reflection. So it is the planet where we learn, and it's the planet where ultimately we need to learn about ourselves and who we are. And it's about developing the art of detachment. So what Mercury wants to do, or wants us to do, is to practice the art of detachment, to lifting the veil of confusion and understanding things, but from a higher, more objective perspective, a little bit like Uranus can be. And Mercury likes to take a bird's eye view of things and not necessarily get personally involved, but to have this broad sweep of information and to detach from the personal so that the person, or humanity, if you like, is able to have this broader perspective on how things work and how things are and how to understand things, to analyze experience and to practice becoming this artful observer in life. So Mercury's a bridge builder between the ego and the soul, through communications, through understanding, gathering new knowledge. There is also a part of Mercury that is associated with thievery. So Mercury being seen in the gods, at least, and in archetypal imagery as this thief, this idea of being a thief. But what is it that Mercury is thieving exactly? Well, Mercury is obviously in us and part of us. It is us. We are consciously embodied in Mercury, and Mercury is consciously embodied in us, and it's part of our own psyche. And so the mind can run away with itself and become either lost or confused or overly busy or overly opinionated. And so in this way, our true nature is stolen from us because our minds are so powerful that they can run speedily away from us, and we're no longer in control of our mind anymore. And in this way, it can thieve the access to our true nature that we're trying to master in this lifetime. So Mercury is about journeys. Often we hear that Mercury is about outer journeys, public transport and short travel trips and things like that. And all of that is true. It's just an outer mundane expression of an inner evolutionary unfolding that's going on within our souls and collectively. So yes, it's about journeys, but it's about the journey to self-understanding. Again, going back to know thyself. The journey is to know thyself and understand thyself so that you can become the objective observer and so that you can make changes and not be so overwhelmed by the processes and belief systems in your own mind. So Mercury is very much about knowledge, and to Mercury, knowledge is light. It's pure light, and information is pure light. And it's the way in which we process and synthesize and receive information in our lives. It's how we gather wisdom in order to grow and evolve and take the next level evolutionary from an evolutionary point of view. So the placement in a person's birth chart of Mercury, for example, shows where there is a need to go on a journey to know thyself, but where there is a need to become more detached, more as an observer, and where there is a need for the person to become equanimous. So not to hold on personally to ideas and thoughts and observations and interpretations, but where they need to flap their wings and fly high and take a bird's eye view of life. And the house and the sign that Mercury is placed in can indicate exactly where in the life and inwardly in the soul that this needs to occur. So all of this is very relevant at the moment because Mercury has just gone retrograde. And in England's chart, which is shared on the screen here, you can see that Mercury is down here in the third house. So actually, the natal chart of the United Kingdom is placed in the third house. Mercury's in the third house here, so it's in its own house of communication. But at the moment, Mercury is transiting through the third house and in the sign of Sagittarius, but it's recently gone retrograde. So what does this mean for all of us collectively? What is this trying to show us from an evolutionary perspective? Well, the third house, and of course Mercury, is all about knowledge and communication and the way we use our minds and our personal belief systems. It's about our personal storybook that we have created in order to make sense of life and navigate life. It's also our collective storybook that we have narrated so that we can navigate and understand life. So all of these themes at the moment are very, very poignant and strong. So collectively, we are being asked to revisit our collective stories that we have written as a society and go back, because the planet's retrograde, which means revisiting and returning to something and going back and going over it again. And it's Mercury we're talking about. So what we're having to do is relearn and re-understand and re-observe something that's going on in our collective psyche. And we do this personally, one by one by one, which also means that it is done collectively. So this is relevant personally as well as collectively. So we need to revisit our minds. We need to revisit our belief systems, the stories that we've created collectively, the narration that we've been following and believing. And we need to reevaluate what we have believed in and the values and the ideals, because Sagittarius is very much about ideals. And which ideals have we been clinging to in our minds that we perhaps need to let go of in order to expand and grow? And have we, for example, believed in a religious system? Have we believed in an everyday collective belief system? For example, I should go to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 is just one such collective belief system. But there are many others. But what collective belief systems, what religions, what opinions, what stories and narrations and ideas have you been holding on to that are perhaps in the way and therefore stealing, thieving your access to your true nature, that you need to revisit and unveil and understand and investigate in order for them to be released and for you to expand and grow your mind a little bit more than it was before. And this is all obviously highly relevant to the other massive transits that are happening for us very imminently. two of which are that we've got Pluto moving into Aquarius, and we've also got Uranus moving into the sign of Gemini at roughly the same time. Also, Saturn is moving into Aries, but I'll focus just on Uranus and Pluto here. So all the themes I've just described about revisiting these ideals and belief systems and expanding the mind relates to Uranus moving into Gemini, because Uranus is the point of individuation, and as a society we need to collectively individuate and come into our true own unique authentic power when it comes to our perceptions of the world around us and our stories and beliefs that we have held on to, and we need to individuate from those things in order to build or write a new story for our lives collectively. And Pluto moving into Aquarius is very similar themes, but just on a very deep soul level. So Pluto is looking to destroy anything that represents dogma, basically, or represents society's collective beliefs about how life should be, and that we should follow those things and follow the rules and follow the orders. And it's asking us to step out of those comfortable places, those safe places, as it was moving through Capricorn, and investigate our psyches collectively and personally on a much deeper level to work out what needs healing within us in terms of how we have adhered to society and its rules and obligations in order to free ourselves and liberate ourselves. And this often happens through the mind, and it's very much connected to Mercury moving through the third house in the United Kingdom's chart at the moment. So I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching.